That's a lot. We've got a new product today. A new Bluetti product. And it's got a big dent in the side. Yeah, thank you, FedEx. Thank you a lot. This is the new Elite 400. It's the first of the modern power stations on wheels. There was a unit some time ago that was on wheels, but it didn't have a carry handle. This thing's heavy. It's like 100 pounds in the box, and it is double boxed. And here we have the new Bluetti Elite 400. It has a nice luggage style handle on it with some bubble wrap. Nice luggage style handle. Wow, that is nice. And wheels. Let me take this cardboard out of here. Look at that, it's on wheels, it moves around. It's very nice, and it has, there's pads on the back to lay it down. That is super, super neat. Let me get the camera down, we'll get a closer shot here and look at it over. And here we are outside with the Elite 400. So what's in the box? You get a power cord that's pretty solid. What is this, 16 gauge? 14 gauge. So 14 gauge power cord, that's nice. You get the customary grounding screw, and you get a manual. That's it. No solar cables, no car charge cables, just a power cable. So this is the unit. It is 86 pounds. It's a beast. What do we have on the front? We have a 100 watt USB-C, another 100 watt USB-C, two 15 watt type A's. We have a XT60 solar input capable of 1,000 watts. We have a car socket, a 12 volt car socket, and these flappers, these are different. These are rigid plastic with a flexible thing on there. So that's a change. Conventional button layout. It's got the newer style screen that has input and output, AC input, DC input, AC output, DC output. You've got 4 NEMA 1520 20 amp receptacles on the front, 2600 watt inverter, 3840 watt hours. This is, if the specs on this, other than the battery, look familiar, this is pretty much an Elite 200 with a much bigger battery and wheels. So this is a neat device. Let's spin it around here. Put the handle down. So that's your side view. Bluetti logo on the wheel. Here's your ground screw, AC C13 input, circuit breaker, vent fan with removable, cleanable deals on there. And I can see like a little mesh inside there. So there's a filter of some sort, at least a hair filter. Here's the rear of the unit, data plate sticker, and these bumpers to lay it down. What we got on this side, another fan louver, removable, cleanable. I like it. So let's do a full discharge test. I've had this thing powered up for a number of days now. I am absolutely sure all the cells are balanced and it's done doing any sort of maintenance it needs to do on itself. So let's turn the AC output on. I'm only going to do a 1500 watt discharge test with this heater here. It's capable of 2600 watts, but I would have to get creative with power meters and adapters in there. So we're just going to do 1500 watts. That will take probably 2.5 hours. So AC output's on. Power meter is reading 0 kilowatt hours. So apply the load. Oh, let me unplug it from grid power first. All right, there we go. We'll come back when this is done. I'm going to probably recharge it first and then come back with the whole set of numbers.
One eternity later.
And we are back, and we discharged all the way to 0, recharged back up to 100%. I have the results on this meter and another one over there. And let's just review these things quickly. So I've compiled a little table here of behaviors. So Elite 400, the charge rates for silent mode is 1,000 watts. Standard mode is 1,200 watts. Turbo is 1,800 watts. And then you have custom mode, which you can configure in 1 amp increments. So a minimum of 120 watt charging all the way up to the full 1,800 watts. And you have 120 watt or 1 amp increments there. So that is super handy for generator or other uses. So I did my sort of standard idle loss test here. The first one was with no outputs on. I ran it for 46.5 hours. It consumed 427.7 watt hours. You divide those out, I got 9.19 watts of standby consumption, just having the unit plugged in with no outputs turned on. Then I redid that with the DC turned on, 34.5 hours. It consumed 356.74 watt hours. Divide those two, 10.34 watts. Then where most of us will probably use it, if we're using this as a UPS, with the AC output turned on, and again, no load, it ran for 48 hours. 561.4 watt hours were consumed. Divide those, 11.69 watts of standby consumption. So this is, again, if you're using this guy as a UPS, it's passing through power, this is what the unit will add to your device. So this is the cost of having it turned on and ready as a UPS. Then I did my discharge test, so 100% to 0 with a 1500 watt heater that really wasn't quite 1500 watts. It was like 1300, give or take, once everything settled out. But divide that, or rather, I got 3,576 watt hours delivered from the unit. And so that is what's on this meter right here, 3.576 kilowatt hours. So divide that by the nameplate of the unit, 3,840 watt hours. That is a whopping 93.12% power delivered by the unit. And then I recharged it at the standard rate, which is 1,200 watts, 0 to 100%. It consumed 4,408 watt hours. Divide that by the nameplate of the unit, 3,840 watt hours. 114.79% of nameplate capacity to recharge it. So let's just subtract those two. That tells me I consumed parasitically via heat and conversion losses 568 watt hours. Now, something I find interesting here is the difference in these two numbers. I would expect them to be a little bit closer, like this is 7% less than nameplate. This is more than, or this is double that in charging. So what this discrepancy sort of shows me is that either the unit consumes more energy in recharging, like it's less efficient, or the chemistry is less efficient in recharging, or perhaps the battery is actually a little bit bigger than 3,840 watt hours. That would explain this difference. Maybe they are underrating this unit just a little bit. Anyway, yeah, I found that kind of interesting. Now we're going to try to do some like overload testing. And I'm going to try not to completely shade the light here, but let's turn that guy back on. I'll unplug my meter. And I have here this same electric heater and another one. We're going to plug both of them in here. And I'll get one heater up and running at 1,500 watts. And then my second heater here, this guy, has three different settings, 750 1000 and 1500. So we're going to try the 750 watt setting. Oh, let me unplug it. It was still plugged into the AC 500. So that's 2100 watts there. Bump it up to the 1000 watt setting. $23.27. Let me try the 1500 watt setting. So this is two heaters at 1500 watts, but they're not really 1500 watts. So we're at 3 kW, which is an overload. Let's see how long it does that. Looks like right at 2 minutes, which is sort of the standard time delay for if you're a little bit over the rating, but not too far over the rating. So that's a great outcome. Let me see if let me reset it here. Turn off the AC output. And I still have both heaters at their 1500 watt setting. So let me turn on the AC output and see what happens when they both surge together in the heat up phase. Can we instantly overload it? Yeah, do you see that? 44 and change right there, and it instantly tripped out. So that is, it's protecting itself. I like it. All right, let's do a app tour of the Elite 400. So I am connected to it via Bluetooth here. And I am currently charging at 1200 watts from the grid, which is my AC 500. So let's first tap on that grid input at the top right. 1200 watts, right on the money. Very, very interesting. I think that is a standard charge. Let me tap on the PV icon at the top right. There we have PV statistics, power, and voltage. Sometimes these units also show current, which I find interesting. Tap on the DC output, it does nothing. Tap on the AC output. That does show us output statistics. Let me tap on the 42% battery state of charge in the center. And this is the now standard sort of battery display. For these units. Down below, you can turn DC on and off, AC on and off. Very simple, very easy. You have estimated charging time there. Tap on it, just gives you a bigger version of that. PV generation at the bottom left. This is your lifetime sun odometer for the unit. If you do perform a factory reset, it will reset that, so just be aware there. Now moving to the top right, you have a little exclamation mark. That is alarms, and I currently have none. And then there's a history. That's very nice. And then tapping on the little gear nut icon just beyond that, we go into the settings. So this unit does have both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. And if you go in the network settings there, you can configure it. It has the device sharing. You can choose default connection in the app, whether you wish to use Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. Whether you want to enable visitor access, set a Bluetooth password, set your location. Working mode, this has all of the UPS modes, standard, PV priority, time control, and then custom, which is everything. Let's set that at 60%, just for fun. This has the extreme weather alert that the Apex and a couple other devices are starting to now have. I don't have a whole lot of information on exactly where it gets its weather detection from, but it does use your location. the location services. So you have to set where you live, and then this will, the extreme weather alert will function. But I don't know what data source they use for that, what, forecasting service. Timer switch. This is a new feature. DC, AC. Let me click on the help pair. Set a specific time for the smart load to turn on or off. You can turn your AC and DC outputs on and off on a timer. Look at that. I clicked on it. It says add. So I can turn on and I can turn off at a time and day of the week. That is super, super neat. I'll play with that later. Back out of this. I'll turn that off because I don't have anything in there. It has charge modes. You have standard, silent, and turbo. And then down below, you have custom. So you can set all the way down to 1 amp. It shows me I will be charging at 120 watts or 15 amps. And it shows me I will be charging at 1800 watts. This configurable charge limit is a very, very handy feature for people using generators. You can dial it into exactly what your generator will provide, your fuel generator, to recharge the unit. Or on if you're on a limited power circuit, like a long extension cord out to your shed or something, and you want to keep the amp draw minimal. Very nice. Has the eco modes, where it will turn off the output after a certain amount of time if it's below the specified wattage, and it is configurable. Both the time and the wattage are configurable. I like to turn these off. As maybe I've mentioned before, the eco modes get people in trouble when they're running intermittent loads like refrigerators. Either a little 12-volt portable fridge or a full stand-up fridge, because they typically will run for a little bit and then shut off for potentially hours and hours. And if the unit detects no power consumed, that eco setting will turn off the output, and then your fridge will not begin cooling again when it wants to. About, let's go all the way to the bottom. About device, this is just some statistics. Advanced settings, you can set your output frequency, 50, 60 hertz typically. It has the system switch recovery, where it will turn back on an output if an output was on when the unit shut down on low battery. I think it has to recharge up to either 5 or 10% to enable that. Has the grid self-adaptation. I like to leave that on. And this is the new style where you can change all these settings to what works for you and your situation for needing to have that. This is new, battery maintenance. Wow. This is a automated battery maintenance function. Love it. As you can see there, it told me I didn't need to do it, so we'll have to read more about that and find out what it in fact does when that time is here. You can DC input source, PV others, and you can enable high current. This is a 1000 watt input, I believe. Is it going to ask for the Pro Mode password? Yeah, we'll draw up to 20 amps from solar. So we'll hit Y. Is it going to show the little disclaimer down below? Yes, there we are. So 16 to 60 volts, it will take 20 amps. Love it. Sleep mode. This will conserve output power. For remote power on, very nice. And it has a charge limit. This is a new feature. You can configure the maximum state of charge of the unit. I will have to investigate that also. Set it back to 100. Let me tap on the little help up there. What does that say? I'll let y'all read that. Nice. Go back out and let's check the firmware upgrade screen. It says I'm up to date. Am I really? Nope. I have 2 firmwares. I'm going to apply these and fast forward through this, and we'll come back when it's done. And that took about 2 minutes real time, so not too bad. 1-click firmware upgrade. I love it. Let me connect back to the device with Bluetooth. Searching. I must have not waited long enough for it to fully boot back up. Let's try again here. Bluetooth. There we go. And I will go back into that menu, and you can use the shortcut. I just like to go back in after doing an upgrade to make sure that I am in fact up to date. There we are. So that is the Elite 400 Bluetti app integration. So let's sort of quickly look at the wheels and stuff here again. I'm on grass, and this rolls pretty easily. This handle is super nice, as I showed before. I like this thing quite a bit. Let me go get something to compare it to, and we'll do a little walk around. Here we are outside in a very cruddy, overcast day. I'm trying to dodge rain, but I wanted to make this comparison. So here is the Elite 400, and perched on top of it is the Elite 200. So these have, again, nearly identical specs. USB ports, quad 1520 combo, quad 1520 combo. Again, there's the USB ports. I ran my hand off the screen. They have the same PV input, 1000 watts, 1000 watts. They differ in battery capacity. So 3840, 2073. This is, the Elite 200 is 53 pounds, I believe. The Elite 400 is 86 pounds. But let's just look at the physical dimensions here. I'll try to back up and make this square. So the Elite 400 is definitely wider around to the side here. They're nearly the same thickness front to back, except for the feet and stuff that stick out the back of the Elite 400. So it's a handy comparison. I got something else fun to try here. So yes, of course, what's better than 1 Elite or 2 Elites? But how about 3 and 4 Elites? So this is the current Elite, Bluetti Elite lineup. You have the Elite 30, the Elite 100, the Elite 200, and now the Elite 400. Let's just get a side shot of all those. Yes, it's rather precarious, but that's quite a stack. I know the Bluetti people love their stacks. So that is the new Bluetti Elite 400. It is quite a battery upgrade from the Elite 200. Both super capable units, but if you're going to run your fridge for a couple of days in a power outage, this might do it, but this will do it almost twice as long. It is very easy to roll around with the wheels and handles. I don't know about picking it up just, you know, a deadlift. It's still 86 pounds. This is 53, I think, but you can wheel it around on hard surfaces, carpet. I pulled it around in my grass, no problem. It is a beast. I hope you find this useful. Thanks for watching.